Hello and welcome to Art History 2. Now I'm doing an introductory video in addition to some written instructions about, what you need to do for the first week. We are here in this week 1 Start Here section, and what you're going to see is a little bit of myself, a little bit of a bio, and if you want to read that, you can. You don't have to. The other things are online course expectations and keys to success in online learning. If you haven't done a lot of online classes are actually a lot more difficult than people think. They think, oh, it's online, easy breezy, no big deal. How difficult can that be? Well, if you're not really prepared for it and you don't really know what to expect, it actually can be a lot more difficult than you think. And so I want to make sure you're really prepared and that you're going to have success in this class because I want to make sure that this is a good, successful class for you. So I would highly recommend looking at these two links. It will take you through and give you kind of an idea of what you can expect time-wise, what you're going to need as far as computer hardware and software. It's not really complicated stuff, but you do need to make sure you've got correct plugins and things. It gives you information on if you're having technical problems with Blackboard. I am not the best person to go to for technical problems because I am not a computer tech. But we do have Blackboard help, so I would recommend, contacting them. Um, it also gives you links that if you're not very familiar with Blackboard, that you can go kind of take some tutorials. So that's everything that's kind of in these online course expectations and keys to success. I really kind of encourage you to at least click on them and read through them a little bit. If you've done a lot of online classes, you've probably seen these 1,000 times and you're probably good. The other thing is if you have not taken a lot of online courses, I encourage you to click on the Netiquette, which is basically net etiquette. A lot of it's very intuitive things, but again, we are going to be doing some discussions, and so we want to make sure that we're respectful of the other people in the class, and so you might want to click on that and just kind of quickly look through it. Now, I do have an icebreaker for this week, so you can click on this link. It will take you into the discussion section. The only thing is it will not show you the instructions. So I'm going to actually take us in through the side tab over here. So you've got kind of two ways you can go into the discussions. And you'll always be able to find discussions over here in the discussions tab, and then I've also got it linked into the different sections that you guys will be looking at. So here is your week 1 check-in / icebreaker. So this is how I'm going to check you in for the first week. You must do this assignment. If you don't do this assignment, I'm going to assume you don't want to be in the class, and I will put you on the withdrawal list. So make sure you do this assignment. You're going to need to do an original post, and then you're also going to need to respond to, I think, three other students' posts. Now, for this one, I'm not going to really grade the post. So this discussion guidelines for grading, I have it up there just so you can familiarize yourself with how I grade discussion post. But again, this is not going to be a graded discussion post. So those are there, just kind of familiarize yourself with how I'm going to do it in the future. So you'll need to answer these questions, post them up, come back on, and check out and see what your other students in the class are up to. And that just gives me a chance to familiarize myself with you and gives you a chance to familiarize yourself with the other people in the class. And maybe you have the same major or you've had classes with these people before, which is always kind of good to be able to connect back in with people. So you'll need to do this task. Now I'm going to pop us over to syllabus calendar and syllabus quiz. So obviously this is going to provide you with my syllabus, the calendar for this class, and then also the syllabus quiz that needs to be completed by Sunday at 11:59. The discussion also needs to be completed by Sunday at 11:59. Now, I really, really do encourage you to read through the syllabus, and that is why I'm giving you a syllabus quiz on this. It is worth 10 points, and you can take it multiple times. And I'm doing this really because I want you to understand what my expectations are for this class. And so if you're not reading through the syllabus, then you really don't know what I want you to do. And so the syllabus quiz is to ensure that you are at least looking through the syllabus, and it's really kind of testing points that come up as being either questions I get frequently or points of contention in the class. So things like, I don't let people turn in late work. You have to keep up on the class. Time management is really important. What do you need to take a test? Those kind of things. I mean, they are things that will affect your grade if you're unaware of them. So please, please, please do look at the syllabus and then take the syllabus quiz before Sunday at 11:59 p.m. We are going to look at the calendar real quick because I want you to kind of understand what is on the calendar. So this is the calendar for the Flex Start class. You can see week 1. These are the things that I've already pointed out to you: my bio, course expectations, netiquette, syllabus, course calendar, and then we will look at in just a second the course setup and instructions. Now it is letting you know that the Renaissance section, which is in week 2, is a very large section. It's actually one of the largest sections we're going to look at. So if you get in there and you think, oh my gosh, this is huge, it's huge, and that is basically one of the largest sections, so it will never be bigger really than the Renaissance section. Renaissance is really kind of unwieldy because it's this start place for, quote unquote modern art history, and it just has so much to it. And so I'm actually opening it up this week, although it doesn't officially open up until next week. So you're going to be able to watch some of the videos this week. You'll know what pages to read, and like you can see in the book, it's rather a large section in your book. I was looking at the pages like, good Lord, that's a lot. But I do want you to kind of look at the pages at least and familiarize yourself with kind of what's going on in the Renaissance. Now with the book, I'm not going to straight up be teaching you from the book. So the book I look at and I think of as being kind of a good background. If you're unfamiliar with art history, it's a really good place to kind of start because you might not understand terminology or kind of how people talk about art history. So the book is going to be a really good resource for you, and I would really recommend looking at the intro chapter because it's going to kind of define some terms and kind of give you a background on how we talk about things, because we do talk in a particular way in art history. So I hope you kind of can catch on to that. Now it also will give you your tasks. So tasks are in blue. You see week 1 icebreaker discussion and the syllabus quiz. Those are your 2 tasks to be completed by Sunday at 11:59. And generally the blue tasks are going to have a due date of Sunday at 11:59 unless I've specified a different due date. So as you can see, red gives you the unit title, blue gives you the tasks, purple gives you the page number. So I've kind of done it by colors. I like to organize things by colors. I'm also going to do the same thing for spring break that I'm doing for week 2, and then I'm going to open up Rococo and Neoclassicism at the beginning of spring break. You do not have to do any of this over spring break. I get it. I don't want to do anything over spring break. But in case you want to work ahead, and I know I've talked with a couple of you all that you've got really busy semester, so I want to provide that for you all if you want it. Now the Rococo and Neoclassical section are fairly small sections, especially compared to all the rest, and so I'm really highly recommending that maybe through spring break and Rococo and Neoclassicism you start to study for test 1 and or work on the paper. So in week 2 you'll be picking your paper topics, and then down here you'll have test 1 and then the next week paper topic. And so your paper will actually be due by Sunday at 11:59 in week 7. So I'm giving you the topic early so you have a lot of time to work on it. If you're a procrastinator, I really highly recommend not being a procrastinator on this because it is going to be test and then paper. And in this Romanticism and Realism, it's a little bit bigger of a chapter than Rococo and Romanticism, and so if you're trying to do it all, it could get a little bit hairy in there. So really working ahead, time management is going to be your best friend, especially since this is a really compressed 10-week class. So there's a lot you've got to get in a short amount of time. And this will just give you the due dates and everything for other things that are due. And the other thing I want to point out is in the last week, it is going to be finals week, but I need the test by Thursday so I can make sure I've got all the grading done and your final grades will be in on time. So I'm actually opening the test up in the week before. So in week 10, if you say work all week and Friday is really the only time you can take a test, I'm actually going to open up the test in the week before on Thursday, April the 17th, and keep it open for a week. And so that way, depending on if your schedule is kind of hectic at the beginning or the end of the week, at least probably sometime in there you'll be able to take the test. So let's actually kind of look inside of the class and kind of give you an idea of how things are going to work. So you're going to find everything basically in the weekly units. So this is going to be the weekly units. When you have tests, and you're only going to have 2 tests for this class because again it's a very short compressed semester. So we're going to have 2 tests, and you'll find the test in here. You won't be able to see them until the test actually opens up. And then paper information is going to be in here, and so I'm actually going to pop into this real quick and just show you that. So you can start looking at paper topics and trying to decide which one you want, and that is going to be in here. Paper instructions are in this link, and that will give you all the instructions you need for what you need to do for your paper. And then this is actually where you're going to submit your paper, and this is through SafeAssign, so you need to make sure that you are indeed quoting everything and putting citations wherever citations are needed, because this does check for plagiarism. So you will actually click on this link, and that will take you to the screen that you actually will submit your paper in. So let's look at the weekly units. Now the instructions I'm going to give you are actually also written down here. So if you need to quickly reference something, you can always kind of go back and read the instructions here. But again, if you're like me, I look at that much reading and I go, oh man, I don't want to read all that. So I'm going to give you kind of the quick and dirty audio version of this. Now these links here are in case something's kind of being weird and not really working well. This is a link to Smart History, and so a lot of the videos you're actually going to be watching for this class come from Smart History because they do a really great job, and they'll take you to the actual museum in a lot of cases. They'll do a lot of comparative imagery, and also a lot of times the link actually has audio and text. So if you're a reader, you've got a little bit of text in there as well, and I'll designate whether or not it's audio, text, or audio and text. The ones that I either didn't like for Smart History or not in Smart History, I've actually recorded and I've put on my YouTube channel. So you can go to Kaylee Humanities and you can watch my YouTube channel. The other thing is, if the Smart History video is actually in YouTube, I've put them into playlists, so they'll run one into another into another. Otherwise, you're going to have to be in Blackboard and actually click on each individual link. So that's another reason why I'm giving you the YouTube channel. And then let's say the class ends and you want to reference back to some material that was in the class. I'm giving you Google Docs, Kaylee Humanities as well. And so basically these are the docs that I built out before I made this class, and so you should be able to find some sort of correlating information to the class in the Google Docs. Now again, I told you I was going to open up week 2 early, so technically this unit does not open up until next week, but again, it's a large unit, and so I'm actually opening it up for you ahead of time. So when you get in there, you're going to see things broken down by either country or style. Generally country or territory, I should say as well. And then within each of those territories, you're going to see essential artworks and pick artworks. Essential artworks are required for the class. Pick artworks are not always required, like this week. There's so many essential videos already that there's really, it's kind of cruel to make you do some pick ones this week. So this week, don't even worry about the pick ones. All you need to look at are the essential videos. And then corresponding to these week's artworks and videos and text is your first journal. You won't actually be able to see the journal until week 2 opens, and again, this is going to be one of those things that's due by Sunday at 11:59 for this week. And so this is how you're going to see the unit look when you get a new unit that opens up. So let's click into Renaissance. So here you can see Renaissance, at least for this time period, is broken down into Italian Renaissance and Northern Renaissance. And we do this because Italian Renaissance is nothing like Northern Renaissance. They are almost like two different styles. So Renaissance is what we call a style or period. And I like to kind of make this reference to clothing or analogy with clothing because I think it's something that people understand a bit better in grouping in the way that art historians group. So we kind of group in the same way that people talk about fashion. So if I were to throw a party and I said, we're going to have a 70s style party, think about all the different items of clothing you would need to get together in order to dress as if you were a person from the 70s. Or if someone said, I'm throwing an 80s style party, what are all the different items that you would need to get in order to, dress yourself in 80s style? Probably a lot of neon, blue eyeshadow, things like early Madonna looking clothes, a lot of sparkly kind of objects, which is very different than 70s, right? So 70s style is very particular, and 80s style clothing is very particular. You can also think about this in a little bit more contemporary terms. You know, Italian Renaissance could be equivalent to like hipster style. And then Northern Renaissance could be, you know, kind of like preppy style. And no one would ever confuse a hipster for a preppy person because the style of their clothes. So think of style in the way we talk about fashion. And hopefully that will help you kind of understand how we use a word in the term style for art history. So let's actually go into the Italian Renaissance. This is the bigger chunk of these two folders. So you're going to find way more videos in the Italian Renaissance because this is where you've got all the people like the Ninja Turtles, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Leonardo. And it's just a very dense part of art history. So the essential videos are the ones that are required. So you're going to need to watch all the videos that are in the essential section. So if you click in, you're going to see that here I have them as web links. And so you can just click on each one of these and it will actually take you to Smart History. So it will take you to the original source for the information. And I like Smart History because, again, it gives you the video. The videos are generally somewhere around 2 to 8 minutes long, so they're not very long. And then a lot of times in Smart History, they'll actually give you text as well. And so I've actually designated that in Blackboard so you can see whether or not the link is going to have video and text, or if it's just video, or if it's just an image. This is pretty much just a diagram. It's just an image. So it really doesn't have anything to do with providing you more information, just kind of diagram something for you. So some of these actually are just images or pictures, which is kind of why I've got a little star there, which actually I'm going to change that star because I have that star designated for something else now. So this is going to be how it kind of works. Now if you want to go to my YouTube channel, all these videos on down in this order are in playlists, and so all you have to do is go to the Italian Renaissance section of the playlist, hit that, and then it will run you through all the videos. The only thing is, if the video is not in YouTube, it won't play. So sometimes these videos, the vast majority will be in YouTube, but not all of them. So you might get one or two within a section that's not actually in YouTube, but by and large the majority are. Now, because there's so many essential videos already for the Italian Renaissance and for the Northern Renaissance, this week you are not responsible for any pick videos. But if you were responsible for some pick videos, it is for the whole entire unit. So say I gave you all essential videos and then also 4 pick videos. It's 4 pick videos coming from all the folders that you see. So you're not responsible for 4 pick videos from Italian Renaissance and 4 pick videos from the Northern Renaissance. That would start getting really cumbersome and overwhelming. So it's 4 from the whole entire unit. And you can break it up however you want. Say you hated the Italian Renaissance and you loved the Northern Renaissance. Well, all of your pick videos can come from the Northern Renaissance. So you can break those up however you want. And I did pick videos because that gives you a little bit of control over what you're going to watch. You know, if there's something you really love, you'll be able to watch a lot more videos on the stuff you love, and you'll be able to ignore stuff that you don't like. And let's be honest, we all have things we love and don't love in art history. Now, you will find that in both these sections there are essential and pick videos. So here you've got the essential videos for the Northern Renaissance. And the other thing that I want to say is some of these are going to be text only and some of them are going to be video only. If you are someone who prefers to read your information and there is a video and there's a text on the same image, you can do exclusively the reading. But say you really like video, and that's me, I really like video, you can just watch the video. So you don't have to do both. So it's an either or kind of situation. Unless you really like to read and to hear stuff, then you can do all of it. But that could start getting to be a lot of information. So on some of these, you'll find just text. On some of these, you'll find just video. So kind of be aware of that. Now, what you're not seeing is that there should be a journal entry right here. Given that week 2 has not come, the journal entry has not actually opened up, so you're not seeing it. But once week 2 actually does open up, a journal will pop up here, And so that will be your task for week 2, is writing a journal entry. Now there's a couple ways you can get to the journal, just like there's a couple ways you can get to the discussion. Over here you have a journal button, so if you want to go back and revisit some of your other journals, you can click on that, and then all your journals will be in here. Journals are private, discussions are public. So I wanted to give you a chance to discuss things in public and then also kind of do your own reflections for the class and kind of what you think and how you're kind of coming to this information. So that's basically the breakdown of the class, how things are going to work, where you need to go for certain things. The other probably last thing you really need to know is all of your grades will be in My Grades. And so this will actually show you all the stuff that you're responsible for. You know, here you've got your week 2 journal, paper submission, week 5 journal, week 9 journal, week 3 discussion, week 8 discussion, week 10 discussion, syllabus quiz. So you'll be able to find all your grades in here. I like to keep all the grades in Blackboard because I want to make sure you are aware of where you're at in this class. What kind of a grade you have, what assignments you might have missed, and again, you can't make up assignments, so you really need to keep on top of those and really have good time management skills with this. It's like being in class. You're expected to come to class every week and do the assignments every week, just like in online classes, you're expected to come, participate, listen to the videos, and do the work. So hopefully you'll find this to be a really interesting class. I personally love art history, obviously, so I'm really looking forward to our discussions, to seeing what you guys think about this information, and getting some feedback from you all. So let's start strong and let's have a great class, and hopefully we will have a lot of interaction and a lot of people who like to talk and discuss things, because that would make the class a lot more exciting.